So today I'm going to tell you about how you can use the buy, refurbish, refinance model at scale to recycle your cash and build yourself a huge pot over a relatively short time period. So we'll start with relatively low numbers, but there's absolutely no reason that you can't do this with a 500k or £1 million asset. But let's start with 100k property. So we've got a house, it's worth 100k, it's a little bit shit, some of the roof's broken, needs some windows, blah, blah, blah. It's a 100k asset. You need to buy that in cash or using a bridging loan, and it doesn't have to be your own cash. And you need to spend 50k on it. A lot of money, you know, you fix it up, you shine it, all this sort of stuff. And you've then got a nice, new, well fixed up house that's worth 200k. So you've got 100k down, and you can add as many zeros to this as you want. You've spent 500k on it, just super high level, and you've got something that's now worth 200k. You've created value there. Now, say you go to the bank and say, hey, Mr. Bank, I've got this shiny asset that's worth 200k. Are you able to give me a mortgage on it? Can I get some lending against it? And they say, yes, absolutely no problem. We'll give you 75% of its value, which means 25% of it needs to remain as a deposit. So with those two figures in mind, 75% of a 200k value is 150k. That's what the bank's willing to give you for this asset. And the 25k is, the 25% is 50k. So if you look at the numbers back on our top bit, we've got a 100k asset, we spent 50k, which totals 150k. They're going to give you that back as a deposit, and you're going to leave the 50k of value that you created in it to be able to have equity and for them to have security. But it means that you can just go and do this again. And there's no reason you can't do this again and again and again and again. And obviously there's fees and there's other things associated, and it's very difficult to get perfectly round numbers, but the principles are exactly the same, and they're the same at scale. So whether you're buying a block for £1 million and spending £500,000 on it, and you make it a £2 million block, you can still do that. There's absolutely no reason you can't do that. But the principles are you're recycling your cash by adding value. So let's look at the numbers on this little 100k house with a 150k mortgage. You have a 150k mortgage, and that's going to cost you somewhere in the region of 6% per year, which, if anybody can do the maths for me, which is going to cost you around 9k per, no, that's 9,000k. 9k per year to the bank. The asset itself, 200k, you should get a minimum of 10%. Let's work at 10% and be conservative. You should get 12% plus probably, but a 200k asset at 12% per year is going to give you 24k per year. You see where this is going? So if you take that 9k, take it away from 24k, then you're going to be left with 15k per year in cash flow or profit. And it doesn't actually stop there, because you also get this asset doubling every 10 years. So you're creating value there. It means every year you're adding somewhere in the region of 16k in value to that asset just by holding it, just by being in the market. So you're actually getting 15k a year in cash flow plus 16k a year in capital growth, which means there's 31k per year coming to you from this asset. Now that's based on an interest-only mortgage at 6%. If you were to pay down that, pay this on a non-interest-only mortgage and pay it on a capital repayment, then your payments would increase slightly, but you would also pay down this initial mortgage. So you're moving in three different directions to increase the cash flow and the money that you have. So yeah, like I said, over a 10 year, so you can definitely recycle cash and keep going with these. So that 150k can be used again and again and again. But also, as you hold these properties over the medium to long term, you will create huge amounts of equity and huge amount of value where you can pull that value out, reuse it, or take it out as debt for your own use, tax-free, that's a whole nother video. But in the round, 100k asset played out over a 10-year period can net you on average 31k a year, which is incredible. So go buy more deals. If you need to be shown how to buy these deals and how to do these sorts of deals, whether it's a single home or it's a block, click the link below and we can book a call and I'll show you how to do all of this. No problems, no questions asked.